On day 1, I landed on Earth as Son Goku. I got sent from planet Vegeta in a space pod. When I got out the space pod, I saw beautiful water around me along with trees and a huge tower. But before I head up that huge tower, I just want to make sure I fully power up just in case. I started making my way up this long tower. It honestly took quite a while to get to, but when I finally reached it, I got greeted by Korin. Korin was kind enough to offer me a flying Nimbus along with a sensu bean, and both of those things will be very handy. I then went back down to place my flying Nimbus and started making my way all the way up towards Kami's lookout, and wow, it looks awesome up here. I dropped down to Kami, and he offered to teach me a bunch of skills, but I am not ready for any of them yet. I then went up to Whis, and he can teach us Super Saiyan God and Ultra Instinct, but we need tons more training before we can reach any of those. I head towards the Hyperbolic Time Chamber and get greeted by Trunks. He offers me some moves, but I don't have enough training just yet, so I head towards Vegeta, and he told me to get lost fast, so I did just that. Once I entered the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, it was time to get serious and start training, so I started fighting the Shadow Dummy for the rest of the day. When night came, I started slaying as many animals as I could to rank up more, and also to get some more food, cause you know how the Saiyan's appetites are. On day 2 to 3, I went back up to Kami's lookout to start training. Once I came out of the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, I finally trained enough to reach a level to go even further beyond, and now got Super Saiyan, but for some reason, I had the legendary Super Saiyan hair, which was quite weird. I then dropped off Kami's lookout to test out my new powers on a lurker, which are OP NPCs on the map that wander around at all times, and holy crap, it ended me so fast. When I arrived to the other world, I got greeted by King Yama, but didn't want to go back to Earth right away since I had a very important mission in mind, and that was to cross the one and only Snake Way, and I wanted to start this long journey I have ahead of me. On day 4 through 10, I finally arrived at King Kai's planet, but I couldn't fly yet, so I had to use my Nimbus Cloud to get up there. Once I broke down my Nimbus and landed on King Kai's planet, the gravity was really strong, just like the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, which made me move very slowly. I went inside one of the buildings, and inside the chest was a lot of dinosaur meat, which is going to be very useful. I then went towards King Kai, and a guy with Ultra Instinct Aura was standing there, and his name was Jin. After further research, Jin was the creator of this mod actually, but he sadly passed away, so his brother put him there. I then learned Kaioken from King Kai, and tried to finally use Kaioken, and it actually worked. The problem is, it just puts a big strain on my body for 10 minutes, which is not a good thing. Since I learned Kaioken, I can finally start to make my way back to King Yama, so I can go back to Earth. On day 14, I finally arrived to King Yama, and am faster now, so I finally arrived 2 days quicker, and can return back to Earth, since King Yama allowed it. I then go right into the Hyperbolic Time Chamber to train with a Shadow Dummy to perfect my Kaioken and increase my power level as quick as possible. On day 15, I finally came out of the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, but in my Super Saiyan form. I went to Kami so he can teach me flying and potential unlock, which will raise my power level. I then went back down to fight a lurker in my Super Saiyan form, and the second I got hit by one of them, they stole my ability to fly and finished me off so fast. On day 16, it's finally time to fight Nappa and Vegeta, and I destroyed Nappa with ease because of the new training and the Hyperbolic Time Chamber. And then Vegeta tried shooting a Ki Blast at me, but shortly after, I finished off Vegeta too. I made sure I came extra prepared before I fought these two. It then told me to travel to Namek if I want a greater challenge, so I took out my space pod and did just that. Once I arrived to planet Namek, I got off my space pod and then got told that a bunch of Frieza soldiers want to fight me, so I did just that. I started punching all the Frieza soldiers, and let me tell you, they were very weak. They tried shooting Ki Blasts at me, and that started a problem though. They outnumbered me badly, so I had to try and escape, so I started running for my life and got back into the space pod to head straight to Earth. On day 17, I went to where Goku and Gohan were just to see what moves they can teach me, and Goku taught me how to use the Kamehameha, but basically I taught myself since I'm Son Goku. I went back to planet Namek to fight the Frieza soldiers, and it was chaotic of course, like last time, but I kept persisting and finished them all off finally. I then battled Q, and he decides to start off with the Ki Blast, so I get ready to charge and punch him as many times as I could. I kept at this, and he shot one more Ki Blast at me before I finally finished him off. I then have to fight Dodoria, and the second I see him, I charge right in and start meleeing him, and just kept punching and punching. Dodoria tried shooting a Ki Blast at me, but that didn't work, and I finally finished him off with my fist. I then have to kill Zarbon, and this guy also decided to start the battle with the Ki Blast, but I dodged it and started charging him in my base form, of course, and kept on punching and finally defeated him also. The one and only Ginyu Force is next up, and the first one I have to fight is Guldo. I sucker punched him real quick and finished him off very fast. I don't even know why he's in the Ginyu Force, to be honest, but oh well. Next up was Birder, Raccoon, and Jace. The main guy I kept fighting at first was Birder, but afterwards Jace was getting on my nerves, so I charged Jace to show him what's up and kept on swinging on this man. Then out of nowhere, all of them just shot Ki Blasts at me, but that didn't stop me. I then charged Jace and quickly finished him off. The last left was Birder and Raccoon, but my target was Raccoon, and I kept punching and punching him and finally finished him off. And finally, Birder afterwards. I then have to fight Captain Ginyu, and we start exchanging blows right away. He tried using Ki Blast, but since it's only me and him, I can focus all my punches on him, and I did just that and took him out easier than the Ginyu squad since they had numbers on me. It was now time to fight the one and only Frieza. Frieza was standing, not moving in his base form, but the second I hit Frieza, he started fighting back and shot a laser Ki Blast at me. I kept punching Frieza, and then he went into his final form. We then started brawling it out in the air, exchanging blows and Ki Blasts for a while. My strategy was using my flying speed and punching, trying to swerve his Ki Blast, and the second I dodged them, I would go in for a barrage of punches. I kept at this strategy for a while and finally finished off Frieza. It was then time to go home, so I decided to get back into my space pod and head to Earth. On day 18, I decided to go in Kaioken just for the fun of it. Apparently, the Frieza soldiers decided to come and follow me to Earth, so I'm gonna have to teach all of them a lesson. They were shooting lots of Ki Blasts and hitting me, but they were very weak, and I took all of them out with ease. It was now time to fight Mecha Frieza and King Cold. I then started punching Mecha Frieza while King Cold watched. While we exchanged blows, I forgot I wasn't in Super Saiyan, so I changed form, and now I can tell I'm doing so much more damage to Frieza, and just a couple more melee attacks in Super Saiyan, and he was done for. Later that night, I went to visit Korin to get some sensu beans before I go into the Hyperbolic Time Chamber and train for 2 days straight. On day 20, I came out of the Hyperbolic Time Chamber and started upgrading my attributes. I then had to fight King Cold because I totally forgot about him when I was fighting Mecha Frieza. But because of my training, this guy was even more of a breeze. I then went up to Kami's lookout, and it's set to go Super Saiyan, and once I directly talked to Kami, he told me he senses something wrong and to check out the biome Dirty Stony, so I did just that. When I arrived at biome Dirty Stony, there they were, Android 19 and 20, and the second I hit them, they started punching and attacking me with full force. They were throwing hands and even using Ki Blasts against me. I started targeting Dr. Gero, but both of them at the same time shot a Ki Blast at me. I still kept persisting on Dr. Gero and took him out. I then started beating the living cell out of 19 and finished him off as well, no pun intended. It then told me to go to the time chamber, so that's exactly what I did. Once I was in the time chamber, it told me to go to Biome Plains because Android 18 was there, so I headed off quickly. Before I fought Android 18, I made sure to go into fully powered Super Saiyan. I charged Android 18 immediately, and right away she uses a Ki Blast, and we start exchanging powerful blows. We keep at this for a long time till she uses another Ki Blast, and that annoyed me, so I got serious and finished things up quickly. After I finished Android 18, it told me to fight Cell. So on day 21, I did just that and started fighting base form Cell, but this guy was crazy. He was punching, shooting Ki Blasts, and teleporting on me. He distracted me badly with his teleporting, and I forgot to eat, and just like that, he finished me off. On day 23, 2 days in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, I've trained enough to go Super Saiyan 2, and for your information, I did beat base form Cell right after I came back from King Kai. Just like that, I am now Super Saiyan 2. Now, Cell is waiting for me at Biome Plains, so that's where I headed to. On day 24, 7 Cell Juniors started attacking me, but their numbers were annoying. Just getting hit and not even knowing what cell I'm hitting, and on top of the Ki Blasts that are getting shot at me, is beyond annoying. Their damage was quite weaker than expected, and I finished all 7 of them off. It was then time to fight Perfect Cell, and this guy does a lot of damage per hit, especially his Ki Blasts. They take a huge toll on me. One big issue with fighting Cell is his ability with instant transmission. No matter where I am, where I try to run and heal a little, be my dinosaur me, whatever I want to do, he just spawns in a millisecond and then goes on to tell me you can't hide from me. He is for sure my toughest opponent, and the amount of Ki Blasts this man can shoot back to back is insane. And I had to be on my feet the whole time to make sure to not die, but I kept on fighting and finally took out Cell. I then fought Pew Pew, and this guy had a big ego saying no one can defeat him, but he was the easiest person I faced, and he was finished just like that. It was then time to fight Yakon, and he was a bit stronger than Pew Pew and shot Ki Blasts at me, but he had the same fate as Pew Pew, and it was a breeze. And now we have to kill Deborah, the king of the demon realm. He actually was stuck in some cobblestone, but he used instant transmission and just punched me, followed up by a ki blast. We both flew up to start our battle. 3 dinosaur meat later and a lot of punching, I finally finished him off. Now it's time to kill Fat Majin Buu, and he starts off with a huge ki blast. We start brawling it out for a long time, and him shooting ki blast took off so much of my health, and if you look around us, the land nearby in a mile radius is all blown up because of his ki blast. I kept punching and punching this man, and finally took him out. It was now time to go Super Saiyan 3, so I headed to the Hyperbolic time chamber for 3 days to train and to go even further beyond. On day 27, I finally got done with my 3 days of intense training in the Hyperbolic time chamber, and can finally go even further beyond. And bam, just like that, we have the gorgeous long hair and are ready to battle Fat Majin Buu again. He shoots a ki blast and makes my health go down so fast, then we start fighting even more. He shoots yet another ki blast, and it's so huge that when it hit me, it sent me straight to King Yema's in the other world. On day 28, I came back from King Yema's and decided to train for 3 days in the Hyperbolic time chamber. On day 32, I finally got done with my training and ready to fight Fat Majin Buu. On day 33, I finally got my revenge on Fat Majin Buu and finished him off. On day 34, I fought the OP Majin Buu, and this man was so strong and took 1/3 of my health in a punch, but I finished him off using Dino Meat. I'm here, facing off against Super Buu, who absorbed Goten. He's hitting me with a powerful energy blast. I'm giving it my all, but Buu's strength is just too much for me. I'm starting to get overwhelmed. I've made the decision to retreat. I've made it out. I'm safe for now, but I know I need to come up with a new strategy if I want to defeat Buu. On day 39, I'm here, standing face to face with Super Buu Gotenks. This is it, the moment I've been preparing for. The fight begins, and he comes at me with everything he's got. I dodge, I weave, and I strike back with all my power. He's relentless, but I'm holding my own. It's an intense battle, blow for blow, but I can feel myself gaining the upper hand. Finally, the moment arrives. His ki blasts are my biggest issue, but I unleash a blow of strike, and it connects with Super Buu Gotenk. He's down, and I finally won, but it was a close call. Night came, and I have to fight Super Majin Buu Piccolo. One punch, and half of my health was gone. The next punch sent me straight to King Yema's. I got really sick of dying, so I went straight to the Hyperbolic time chamber for another 3 days. The rematch against Super Majin Buu Piccolo has begun, and I can feel the tension in there. Buu is firing his ki blasts, and they are hitting me very hard. I need to stay focused, dodge, and look for an opportunity to strike. This battle is very intense, and I find an opportunity and finally take him down. I then had to fight Super Majin Gohan, and a big ki blast starts to fight off, but using the same strategy as before, I finally took him down after using 6 pieces of dinosaur meat. I'm locked in a fierce battle with Kid Buu, exchanging blows with all my might. Suddenly, he unleashes his ki blast, and the mountains around us explode in a massive blast, but I finally end up finishing him. Guys, we finished off Kid Buu, but now there's a way bigger problem. Lord Beerus has woken up from his nap, and it's now time to fight him. I'm facing off against Lord Beerus, and he's not holding back. His ki blast attack is wreaking havoc on the land below us, but I won't let that stop me. I take his massive blast and counter with powerful punches. He's tough, but I won't back down. 2 more hits to do. I gather all of my strength and unleash 2 devastating blows. Lord Beerus is down. I did it. The world is safe again for now. The next step for me is to become a Super Saiyan God, so later that night I headed up to Kami's lookout so I could talk to Whis. I finally unlocked the God form, but could not transform unless another Saiyan was nearby, so I decided to head towards Goku and Gohan. On day 43, I finally found Goku and stood next to him, and behold, we have Super Saiyan God. I feel the power of a Super Saiyan God coursing through me. I charge at Lord Beerus with a flurry of strikes, but he dodges them with ease, and shoots a huge ki blast at me. I try to catch him off guard, but he instant transmissions to me, and shoots another ki blast point blank in my face. But I kept pushing, and Beerus then pretended to fall asleep, so it seemed that I defeated him just for now. Okay, here we go. Whis is coming at me with incredible speed, but I managed to eat his first attack. I counter with powerful punches, but he effortlessly blocks half of them. Whis shoots 1 more ki blast at me before I quote-unquote defeated him, but in reality, he just left and told me I need to work on my ki control. On day 44, Frieza's soldiers decided to come on Earth again, but 1 punch took each of their soldiers out, so I just kept throwing out knuckle sandwiches and finished them all off pretty quickly. Night comes, and I have to fight Shisami. I thought this guy was way stronger, but I took him out in a couple of hits. It was then time to destroy Captain Ginyu, but he's not in his original body anymore, and his ki blasts were pretty weak. I also ended up destroying him, of course. Alright, now I'm facing off against Frieza in his final form. He starts to fight off with the ki blast, and we start going at it. He keeps using his ki blast and trying to punch, and more ki blasts and more punches and punches. And finally, Frieza had enough in his final form and wanted to go golden time. But before that, I went to train in the Hyperbolic Hyperbolic Time Chamber for 3 days to unlock the legendary Super Saiyan Blue. On day 47, I have finally unlocked Super Saiyan Blue. I'm powered up into Super Saiyan Blue, and there's Golden Frieza looking confident. I charge at him with an abundance of punches, but he tanks them and counters with a powerful energy block. I try to avoid it, but have to tank it, and he shoots yet another one. I stay back and eat my dinosaur meat before I charge into my final attack. He shoots his last ki blast before I charge in for the finish and end him. Day 50, okay, here we go. I'm facing off against him. He's a tough opponent, but I think I can handle him. The problem is, he's quick. I can barely keep up with his movement. I'm trying to land a hit, but he's dodging everything. He's charging up an attack. I don't think I could dodge it in time. And I'm down. Hit was just too much for me to handle. On day 60, I came out of the Hyperbolic Time Chamber after spending 10 days straight training. On day 61, I rematched Hit, but this time was way stronger, so I just kept punching and punching Hit, and he was finally defeated. Alright, now we're fighting Monaka. He has transformed into Beerus and is charging straight at me. I'm doing my best to avoid his rapid punches, but he's moving with lightning speed and uses his ki blast multiple times, but I do finish him off right after. I'm determined to take down Goku Black. I start with the barrage of punches, and he counters with the ki blast. I back up to eat some dino meat. We then take the fight towards Kami's lookout, and I ended him fairly quickly. On day 74, I got done training for 13 days, but wanted to finish Ultra Instinct fast, so I went back into the Hyperbolic Time Chamber to go beyond Super Saiyan Blue and get a hint and taste of Ultra Instinct. On day 99, I now was fighting Goku Black and Super Saiyan Rose, but finished him off so quick. My new training helped immensely. I then went on to fight Fuse Zamasu and was throwing strong hard punches after school for a couple seconds, and surprisingly, took him out so easily too. This new training was amazing. I went to Kami's lookout so I could talk to Whis, and he could teleport me to the Tournament of Power Arena. On day 100, I finally arrived to the Tournament of Power Arena, and right when I touched the ground, I transformed into Super Saiyan Blue Evolution, ready to battle any and everyone. I then have to fight Basil, one of the wolves. Me and him just kept clashing back and forth, but his punches aren't inflicting any damage, and from that point on, he was finished. It was time to fight the next wolf, Lavender, and we started clashing for a while. I wanted to change things up a bit, so I decided to charge up my Kamehameha wave and unleash it on him with full power, and that made him go to sleep for good. I am now facing Toppo. This is my chance to show him my Super Saiyan Blue transformation. He's moving towards me with incredible speed and power, but I won't back down. He fires a ki blast at me, and I lose him for a couple of seconds. The second I found him, I got serious and finished him off. I'm now stepping into the ring with two of the newest Saiyans, Kale and Caulifla. Their energy blasts are intense, but I'm not backing down or taking damage. I tried countering their attack with the Kamehameha wave and charging it up for a while, but missed very badly. I then continued to fight and fight while they shoot blasts at me, but I managed to take Kale out. I took a sensu beam quickly and finished off Caulifla right after, and now was time for the biggest moment of my life. It's now time to transform into Ultra Instinct. At first, I felt a sudden urge of energy coursing through my body. I could feel my muscle tense and my hair stand on end as an intense fiery aura enveloped me. As the transformation progressed, I can sense my movements becoming more fluid and effortless. My eyes turned silver, and I emitted a bluish glow. Finally, I reached the pinnacle of the transformation, achieving Mastered Ultra Instinct. I am now ready to fight the one and only Jiren. The second he hits me, I am 0 health, so I'm forced to take a sensu beam, but the problem is I get taken out of Ultra Instinct and I am at full health. And the rest was history.